This episode of Getting Table is brought to you by Valhalla Hobby. Use code TABLE to get 5% off your first over $100. Please consider becoming a Patreon and support us for $2 a month.
Brought to you by some guys on the internet.
This is Getting Tabled.
With your hosts, Jason the Bruce,
You guy!
George the Yank,
I hope you're all entertained by my inaptitude.
Jason aka Major Socks.
We've been doing this and talking about various stuff. One of the stuff.
Now sit back, relax, and get tabled.
Hello, future people, and welcome to episode 141 of Getting Tabled with your host, Major Socks.
He's the only one, folks, that can get my rank right, unlike Bruce. So, yep, we got George tonight as well. So, just the two of us.
And, oh my god, my competence is showing getting this all set up and going for the night, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow, you didn't have to agree so freaking quickly there, jerk. Bruce is off. He got himself a new motorbike, so I bet he is off running his new motorbike with his motorbike friends and enjoying his new motorbike. Because, quite frankly, I'm a little jelly of what he got. It is a good looking ride he's got there.
It is a nice looking bike. So,
but to preface this, since he is gone and my life has been extremely busy and chaotic, I have not watched the Dave Drop Fleet Commander video, so we are going to save that for the next fortnight with Bruce to talk about stuff, because I think that's only fair, because I bet he's got lots of opinions he wants to talk about and share with that as well. So we're not going to take that away from him, and so we're going to get on to the rest of this junk.
Newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events.
One of Bruce's favorite sleeper games that he's discovered, Moonstone, has got a bunch of stuff on pre-order.
yeah, these are looking nice. He's got 6 different sets. Life and Death Struggle that has
The 2-player starter set for $120, which I think that's pretty reasonable. If you could get that, sit down and start playing a game with that box with you and a buddy, that's a reasonable price.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. It comes with 4 miniatures. Actually, it comes with 8 miniatures. 4 Shades of Moonreach miniatures, and then 4 Fawn miniatures. Card deck, the rules, some energy counters, some dice. So, not a bad looking set.
So let's see. We got Anger Boda, Negro. Is it all of the... I know there's a couple of things that aren't listed on the pre-orders. But we'll just look at this. If we look at Anger Boda, right? Anger Boda is pre-selling for $33. So if you take that in perspective of, that's one of the 8 minis, the box is $120, and that one mini is $33. That's a pretty decent value, I think.
I think Neverending Night, some of them are part of it as well, which is another set, and that's going for $39. And so between those two, I mean, that's $72,
right?
That you're, and then the other 48 or so is going to be the rest of the. Still not a bad price for $120 for 8 minis and the rest of the game set for a 2-player starter set.
The rules, the cards, etc. Yeah. The other one I want to take a look at here, Charge of the Fright Brigade. These are the most adorable, frightening things I have seen. Lampy Darkson. Come on. That's just...
Yeah, a little gnome or something inside of a lamp.
The Terrible Musician. Lord of the Deep. The Tea Cake of Torment. That sounds like something from Alice in Wonderland right there.
Yeah, right.
Brave Sir Pidge. I want him. To channel. I've been watching a lot of a guy Bobby Duke Arts. He's very talented, but to quote him with Brave Sir Pidge, I want that. Good looking stuff. Next on the list of things, we're jumping into
some good looking models
Semantic.
coming for Moonstone here in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've got some Mantic stuff. Oops, clicked the wrong tab there. There we go. Back to Mantic. Oh hey, please. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, thank you, cookies. So we've got Forces of the Abyss, Lord of Lies, which yeah, he looks pretty stupendous. He's very Balrog / Bloodthirster esque from Games Workshop. But he actually looks what's the word I'm looking for? Robust, like he's not fragile, brittle.
No.
Which some of those things like
made out of resin, 2 different types of head options available. So he's got one that's just his normal head, and then he's got one that has a helmet, which doesn't look too bad actually. One of the little lower pictures underneath the big one has a picture of the helmet.
Oh, that helmet looks pretty dope actually. That's very come on. The voice of Sauron from Return of the King, who rides out at the end. He's got no lips and just the teeth. That's very esque with that helmet.
Yes. Yeah. It looks pretty nice.
I think I like the helmet better. It looks more...
Yeah, I think I do too.
It looks more menacing. Next on the list for Mantic, though, we have more Abyss Forces. These are Nagiri, and these look pretty stunning as well. These are some snake people with like quite literally a devil head. Like these look very reminiscent of some Oni images of Japanese folklore. There's one of the plastic sprue kits for that, which that looks really easy and simple to put together.
Yeah, 2 body halves, the back and the back of the head,
a cape,
and then just whatever. Yeah, and then whatever arm pieces, depending on which weapon you want to have set up. Pretty simple looking.
That's pretty straightforward, and yeah. Well, it looks like actually the weapons are all 3 on 1 sprue, so. But yeah, like...
Yeah, it looks like you can build all 3 of them off this one sprue. I mean, you'll build one of them, but you have all 3 options.
Sure. Yeah. Excuse me. Got a close-up of one of them, and it looks so good. Like, the paint job is a little lacking close up because, it's your traditional mini paint job trying to highlight as much detail and show as much depth as possible, and close-ups are not quite so flattering, but God, it looks good. And then next up we got some Abyssal Heroes. Get this. There we go. I'm not gonna lie, kind of like the guy riding on the chair, on top of the big fat one. Look at his belly button. I'm
kind of liking the Ifriti, the genie out of the fire, coming out of the fire.
Yeah, I've got him up on the screen right now. Yeah, that one looks good. Miniature wise, I feel like they could have done a little bit more on that paint job to make it look a little more dynamic. Like,
I agree. I definitely agree.
When you look at that, I've got the fat guy with the little guy. Just if you look at that paint job versus the Ifrit paint job, like they should have done a little more on that Ifrit one. Still great looking mini though, but the paint job they went with is a little underwhelming. And I've got the
little lackluster.
The female one up too, and again, her paint job is stunning in comparison. And a great looking mini. Kind of wish Bruce was here to talk about because he's way more into the Mantic games than I am for sure. Next we got Forces of the Abyss Army. So this is $110, and that looks like a lot of army for $110.
Mm-hmm.
And in the world of Games Workshop and a 10-man tax squad for, what are they, $60 now? Like, this looks like a hell of a good deal.
You're getting 6 giants, 2 squads of, what is that, 12? 15?
I'm going to say 15. Looks like just...
So, yeah, about 30 troops there. Another 10 throwing fireballs or whatever, and then another 10 to 15 of those small little guys, and then your hero. That's really good for $110.
Yeah, that's a really good value. I'm going to jump back. I quickly scrolled past them. Again, they're showing off pictures of the sprues, and I love the when they do this because you can kind of see how fidgety the stuff is. And this is not fidgety stuff. Like this looks like good solid, like a plastic model kit that's designed to be handled almost too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's that trident that looks like that could break easily. There's a little kind of almost a serpent thing in the bottom middle of the second one, or the flame could bust off that, your tiny little slender weapons. But if you look at some of the other stuff, like, it's all robust looking, like it's designed to make sure it's not flimsy.
Yep, exactly.
And then lastly, Forces of the Abyss Mega Army. So for $165, you get a really big guy and 6 of the snake people plus what was in the previous army.
I think the smaller hero might have swapped out a little bit.
Yeah, the hero did get swapped, yeah.
But otherwise, you're exactly right. I mean, it's for $55 more.
You get 6 snakes and that really big guy,
which looks pretty good.
I'm trying to see if I can find a close up of him.
Yeah, I don't see a close up
nope.
of him. The only close up is really do the big group shot photo again.
But again, it's like you got two packs of 15. Excuse me. The other group of what did we say that was 20? The little guys, the hero, the 6 giants, and 6 snakes, and I love how some companies get the idea of like buying an army and like knowing what to charge for it, and not like extorting you, for lack of better words.
Yes. So yeah, all these are on pre-order right now through Mantic. They'll be released on the 23rd. So here in about a week and a half. So really looking game. I'm sure Bruce will be looking forward to.
I'm sure he's
some of his players.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking forward to this since he's the Mantic guy.
Yep, exactly.
Next on the list, stuff you're interested in.
Yeah, so we got some new releases of concept art for Armored Clash. So the first one we're looking at is the Ganarin drop capsule for the Alliance. And so my guess is this is going to be dropped out of aircraft. They are going to be having, and coming up, we'll be looking at some of the roadmaps, but some of the flyers in Dystopian Wars actually has landing troop capabilities, and so my guess is this is going to be kind of following one of those type of units to be dropped on. That way you can drop your infantry onto the ground. So really, really cool looking. There's a regular troop variant, but then there's a rocket pod variant that allows you to shoot rocket pods out before you unload your troops.
It's a pretty cool take on Simply a drop pod from Warhammer.
from Warhammer. Yeah, absolutely. So pretty cool concept art here. For the Alliance. Alliance is going to be a little bit later in the year, next year. Well, like I said, we'll see that roadmap. And then the next one we have is another Alliance unit. It's the Star Tankette. So small little battle tank for the Alliance. Very reminiscent of what we'd possibly see in World War One, World War Two time frame.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks like the
World
very
War Two.
the very death trap tank.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. I was looking for my watcher.
Can't find it. So yeah, very reminiscent. I mean, it's based off of some of the Renault tanks that France actually had. So which makes sense since it's Berth Renault is the mastermind behind this design, according to the lore.
Also makes sense why their cars look the way they do too. The Renaults, I mean.
Yep.
Apparently I have to accept the cookies on everything. This is a tank bike? Or tread
Yes.
bike? This is really cool looking.
So yes, this is the Winged Hussar tread bike for the Commonwealth, and it looks amazing. I mean, you've got pretty much a motorcycle with some machine guns off the side of it, and then you got this rider that has this big, huge feather stabilizer backpack coming up as a crest above his head.
Oh god, there's an actual like historical army. They did this the feather plume thing off their back like that. Army with,
and then he's got a cryo lance, so pretty much a charged lance that he's going to be riding into combat with to hit you with as he's riding by. So, but yeah, with this being Commonwealth, my son plays Commonwealth in Dystopian Wars, so I could see him possibly wanting to get some of these for his armored clash army coming up.
It's in my brain. I've seen that plumage, like, you know, on like, and I'm talking like, you know, old, like before, you know, guns and stuff. This is a really cool concept. I'd love to see one of these way too creative guys like make a tread bike. I think it's doable and possible. And it'd probably be like the worst ride ever, comfort wise, but that would be so cool.
It'd be very cool.
Do you imagine doing a hill climb with that?
That'd be easy.
Right? Next on the list.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some more on these. And then the next one we have is the Azadaya Berserker, again for the Commonwealth. So kind of taking some of the scientific minerals that they found and somehow meshing it with a flesh of some sort, human being that turned into a berserker. So
this is very reminiscent of did you ever watch the Sean Connery League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie?
Yeah.
So, you know, all the stuff is getting stolen. This is very reminiscent of the hide potion that they developed.
Yeah. So
that
very
looks
cool looking guy carrying two huge battle axes.
I want to see what that mini actually looks like. Like, concept art is one thing, but if you can take that concept art and make the mini look like it's concept art, you know, yeah.
And I think I think they're going to be able to, because we've seen some of the concept art for the stuff that's being released for the starter sets, and it looks pretty comparable to what guys are getting released. So.
For sure. Next, I've got the Knights.
Yep. So these are for the Imperium. So you got a big, huge Battle Walker version, and then you got a smaller guy with a Squire set up. So
the Squire looks like it's an android.
Yeah. Yeah, it does kind of look automata, cyborg.
Oh, hey. Socks, look at the top right corner. It says Armature and Automation Squire.
Yep, you're right. So.
That head is really cool. This is giving me vibes from Fallout, though. You know, just having
Yes.
recently watched the show with the knight and the squire.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they got robot
So-
squires, is because the knights were like trashing their squires too much.
So yeah, for this being coming out for the Imperium, I'm really looking forward to this because this is one of my primary factions that I play with Dystopian Wars. So looking forward to seeing these guys early next year time frame, mid springtime. So, which is what we're going to look at right now. So they've announced a roadmap of what they have planned over the next year. As we know, the starter set for Crown and Empire and the 2-player starter set are coming out later this month. But then they said winter time frame, the Union will come next, and then Enlightened will be early next year. So Union will probably be December time frame or November. And then with Enlightened being January, February time frame, and then Imperium will be spring of next year along with the campaign set. And then we'll see some aircraft, and then the Commonwealth, and then Alliance and Saltmate about a year from now. So
I don't know why I've never noticed or anything, but I really love the faction logo for the Union.
yes, it is pretty cool.
That is very,
Logo.
very awesome, I think. Very cool stuff. I don't know if I've officially mentioned it, but I don't have a gaming store in my area anymore. So
That's too bad.
and I really, really wishing like there was, so I could like have a chance of, you know, like this game is looking so good.
Yeah.
So either someone needs to open up a store, because I'm not doing that again, or you need to get orders to be stationed over at FE Warren. So.
F.E. Warren, I will try my hardest, my friend.
Ooh, ooh. Hear that? That was a promise. Hopefully your wife doesn't listen to this. Next on the list we have Night Models. And Bruce mentioned on here, extremely lazy release to absolutely pathetic. Make a point of looking through the comments, please. Okay, as you can see, they're not worth supporting. Just like their physical miniatures, they don't offer reasonable support. And here they're not even replying to comments on their own product. That's fantastic. Nothing wants to give my money to a company more than a company that won't respond or
Won't
support.
reply back.
Would really like the unsupported models. They look pretty good, but the model pulls off the print about halfway through. Wow. And it'd be nice for them to lay at an angle to kind of mitigate all that. Really not worth the price without unsupported versions. How much is this? $10 for a file that apparently is a bad file. Geez. Here we go. We got some resolution of the files are terrible. Very disappointing if this is going to be the quality we receive from the actual campaign. Oh, wow. I don't know if you clicked on that, Socks, but it's the boots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god, that is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Good lord.
And then even in the emblem on the Superman emblem,
Yeah,
is pretty bad too.
Yeah, I had that up, and God, that's horrible. Like, first and foremost, let me say this: I cannot do any sort of digital sculpting. Like, I'm not, one of those skilled people. But for crying out loud, if you're doing that and charging people for it, that much, it better be worthwhile.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna click on the Batman one here. Oh, here we go. Can we zoom that in? That doesn't look absolutely terrible. Except for...
It's not the greatest.
Looks like there's a line running down the middle of the left leg. Yeah, this... Okay, same person that was commenting on Superman. Apparently, he's pretty hot about this. Had nothing but failures trying to print these models so far. Not had any problems with any of the other files as of yet. Anyone else have problems? And this is like 8 days ago, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All these people commenting, and no one's like with Knight is responding. Like that's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, bad customer service for sure.
Next on the list. Oh wait. Oh, I had that open twice. Oh, okay, there we go.
We got some Space Aussies.
Space Aussies. Kickstarter, 21 days ago, $355 goal. They're at $10,000. So, if you're backing this, you're going to get yourself some Space Aussies, eh? No, that's Canadian.
Yeah, wrong country.
Right.
Don't let Bruce get mad at you.
I love the one thing I love about it is the very, what is it, the Ranger hat or whatever the Aussies hat.
Yeah.
The bush hat. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but that's just such a good, unique, iconic look.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling down through all the various bodies and legs and guns.
Did you see they have a Sergeant Baza Bruce?
Oh, of course they do. Wow, that's exactly what we need. Is we actually need something called a Bruce.
I know, right?
I mean, at least old Bruce from Drop Bears is a big hideous thing, you know. So
yes, that's true.
Oh, hey, and then there's the Sheilas. Is that still an appropriate term to use in Australian slang, a Sheila? Can we say that?
I'm not sure. Bruce, where are you?
Oh, apparently it is, because I just scrolled down and we got the blokes and the Sheilas. So apparently,
there you go.
Apparently that is still an appropriate term to use. These look good. Like, I think this would be a great like alternative models for Catch-Can Jungle Fighters.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, a squad of something in your Catch-Can army. Oh, hey, they've even got shorts. Because nothing's crazier or more manly than freaking an Aussie in the bush where anything can kill
Wearing
you.
shorts.
Wearing shorts, for crying out loud.
Yep.
No, this is a really good... Oh, hey, here's an image of what the minis look like when they print with supports. I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, and I think it's great that they do that because seeing what it looks like when it's printing is fairly awesome compared to, like, I don't know, Knight, who apparently needs to have supported models or something. I don't know. Good lord. Yeah. Okay, and then we got a space comparison. They're running about 30 mils for the Sheilas and blokes. And it looks like James, who's blacked out, has a very strong resemblance to a Imperial Guard mini from a certain gaming company. That's not on our list this week, oddly enough.
Nope.
Did you have something to do
And
with
then
that?
it shows a version. Nope, that wasn't me. And then you have a version that's called Kit Bash where you can pretty much put the two together.
Yeah, so it looks like they're showing off the standard Games Workshop body with their arms and head, which certain Games Workshop sanctioned tournaments, you have to have so much of the miniature be Games Workshop in order for it to be used in the tournament. If it is not a WW Mini, it can jog on. This is a really great looking Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't even look at that. The Space Aussies digital media bundle, the entire thing, socks, $29 US.
It's not bad.
I mean, that is freaking great. If you look at all the stuff that's available on this, we got at least 10 different bodies for the blokes and 10 for the Sheilas. So I mean, there's 20 unique minis right there. I mean, that's a hella good deal. I mean, yes, you still have to do all the printing and all that stuff yourself, but still, that's a great deal for $29.
Yeah. Plus, you get the different shorts. You get the different type of weapons. You
Yeah.
got the various stretch goals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So-
Yeah, the weapons and stuff. Yeah. How many days does this got left? Ooh, God.
21.
Well, as you know, I've got that Colonel special release from COVID,
Yeah.
and then I got Sly Marlboro. I've been picking up the other ones, and then I got that Sergeant Meat Grinder from that other 3D printing company.
Yeah.
There he is.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm actually really impressed with the quality of that. I wish I'd gotten a chance to do an unboxing for it sooner, but for those who don't know, I've been dealing with puppies. And when I say puppies, I'm talking newborn puppies. They're
Two of them.
they're very demanding and needy. I was up at 1:30 this morning helping feed them. Mom was doing the feeding. I just had to make sure they could find what they needed to feed on. But like I'm not intentionally trying to do a Catch Kid Jungle Fighter army, but it's things
This
are
could
making
work.
things are making it really hard. Like this Kickstarter,
Yeah.
that good lord. But next on Kickstarter, which this should not be on Kickstarter by any means of the imagination. A few weeks ago, we talked about Privateer Press selling just about everything to Steamforge Games. And Privateer Press was known for fair few things. They were known for War Machine, Hordes, what was the board game thing? Monster Apocalypse or whatever? It's
Yeah, something like that.
the thing caught up with Mythic and their mismanagement. But one of the other things that Privateer Press was really known for was their line of paints. Like, people like their paints. And with all, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago, we even mentioned, like, are these even still available? And we were talking about,
Yeah.
a paint Kickstarter. I don't know if it was Duncan Rhodes' second wave or TT Combats or whatnot. But, the question came up, can you still get P3? Well, apparently now you can.
Now you can.
But it's on
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Why? Steamforge Games is big enough where they don't need to put this to Kickstarter. And the fact that it's already an existing paint line, just turn machines on, make some paint, and sell it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard. They're showing it off in the standard 15 mil dropper, so they've already got a plan for this. Just do it. You don't need to kickstart this. This is one of those things where this is not an appropriate Kickstarter and should not be there. We got a starter pack. What is that? 10 paints for 31 pounds. $40 for 10 paints.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a Kickstarter price. That seems like a retail price. Mm-hmm. The purpose of a Kickstarter is, you're still trying to make something, but you're also supposed to give the backers a little bit of a break for helping bring the idea to life. This doesn't seem like that. Because
Yeah.
what?
Whereas you can get 50 for about 176.
I mean, that's...
So, in that aspect, you're getting more for your money. Because if you're only getting 10 for 41, you get another 40 for another 130.
So here's something interesting. 110 balls, 28 unreleased colors, droppers or lids.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Why in the name of God, when the industry has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that lids dry paints out and are terrible, why would you even offer that? Just do a dropper.
Mm-hmm.
If I waste half a drop of paint, I'm not going to cry compared to, crap, my entire pot's dried out now.
Yeah.
Looks like they've got a few guys saying good things about it. Ninjon is the only one on the list I really recognize. Again, yeah, there it is. Prefer classic lids? No, I do not. I will say this:
Bottles.
the P3 lids are much better than the Citadel lids. I will say that. But still, back it if you want to. I don't think this should be a thing. And I'm kind of curious because Ninjon's name is like popped up now like 3 times on this this page. I'm wondering, if he's that into these. Like, is P3 been that missed, or has Steamforged Games slipped him a little something to get him to, to
say a little more?
Yeah, exactly. Now, again, Ninjon is one of those, very top-level painters. He's very successful, does a lot of great content creation. I cannot say bad things about what he does. I'm just in question. It's like, is the paint that good? Has it been missing from the market that long?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Hobby Pledge. $176, which seems to be what most people are doing. Oh, here's a Master Pledge. $312. Yeah. Again, this is one of those things, like, sure, TT Combat's like, here's our brand new paint line. Like, okay, that would be something I would back. I did a scale 75, and I'm not backing another one of theirs after what I received of unmixed paint, for crying out loud. That was something like this. Horrible. I'm not back. I would never back this. Like, maybe if they're like doing some big epic, game release where it's like, a $300 all in, and you get like 2 core sets of all this, like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll look at that. Not for a line of paints that's already existed. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's not what backers are for. What do we got next on the list? Oh, Corvus Belli. Right? Yeah, War Crow release. There we go. Oh, need to scroll down a little further. Ooh. I like that. Like, that choice to do that blue skin with the hair and stuff. Oh my god, that looks so good. Oh.
And it reminds me of Avatar.
No, yeah.
In terms of the color of skin.
Yeah, but they've got 5 fingers, so.
Yes, no, I agree. But in terms of the color of the skin.
Jeez, these look so good.
Look, scroll down to the Tundra Marauders. Those look pretty awesome.
No, that's what I'm looking at, is the Tundra Marauders.
No, the Bulwarks. Sorry, the Bulwarks.
Okay. I've seen something like that before. That's a very... Can't place it. That looks really good too, though. The Tundra Marauders are my favorite by far on this. Can I? Oh, I can't make that bigger. There we go. That blue, like, there's certain colors that just make me go, it's so good. And that blue is one of those blues. That scale 75 red that I've got, like, that's a red that's just, it's a very red, and it's like one of the best reds out there, I think. And then finally, Bad Roll Games. Did I not? I missed that one. Let me grab that real quick. Bad Roll Games. Alrighty. Punk Alloptic starter set for €79.95. What is this? What did you find here, Bruce?
Yeah. Guy riding on a buffalo or an archer. So Native American looking.
This almost looks like a Badlands mini game.
Yeah.
Or not Badlands, Borderlands.
Yes. Borderlands.
Whatever movie that just came out that flopped huge. That's what this is kind of giving me a feel of. I love when Bruce finds stuff like this, but then I also hate it when he finds the stuff and he's not here, and then we have no context.
He's not here. Yeah.
We have no context of what we're looking at. This looks really cool, though. Just going back to the picture, this, I guess, buffalo. I can't think of another word to describe it.
That's the closest word that I could use too.
And then you've got, like, quite literally your Borderlands rejects, like the dude on the little motorcycle and the guy with the flamethrower and axe with, like, all the scarred up skin and stuff. Like, I mean, this looks really cool. Again, I need a little more context what's going on here. This crazy Mela shotgun looks pretty cool. Are you gonna get bigger? There we go. That's God, this looks good. That's Mad Max. That's what that is. The crazy Mela shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the main character in Mad Max for a while? Mel Gibson, or the main actor?
Yeah.
Crazy Mel. Yeah, really cool. Could have used a little more context. It does look really neat though. Like, 'cause, I mean, those are minis. That's not artwork. Those are minis.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got an indie.
Indie. Definition. Independent. Type. Slang word. Jargon.
War scenery. Wow, I had no idea my mic pickup was that loud. Looks like lots of scenery.
Yeah, it's all STLs that you can 3D print. So they got a bunch of different terrain sets.
Yeah, we got one of the things I've got up here on the screen right now is the Corrected Sanctum that's launching in a 1 day, 21 hours. This is total Chaos fanboy stuff right there. Like, it's got all the Chaos stars and, like, yeah, it looks good. We got more grimdark stuff here, which Elven Headquarter. This is obviously Eldar. Oh wow, that really zooms in. God, that looks really good. The detail on this, I'd be really interested to see what this looks like. You know, just off the print, without paint. Ooh, Elven Shield Barrier. That looks pretty cool. Let's go back some more. Hey, we've got whole chapter headquarters. Let's look at the chapter headquarters. Okay, that's pretty just generic looking stuff. Grimdark Stronghold. Yeah, we got lots of just different terrain types. Ooh, the Desert Trading Post. Can you say Tatooine?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, here we go. Siege of
Jedi.
Castrograd. Ooh, that looks good. That's a very generic trade right there. Like, you use that in 40K, you could use that in lots of different games. It's so nondescript. The Grimdark Outpost has got bunkers galore. I'm gonna click on the Order HQ Chapel here under the I forgot what it was. I wish they showed some sort of scale, like the scale is small, is 28 mil. Wow. Okay. So yeah, apparently they're designed to be huge. That was in the Gothic Sanctuary. Let's look at the United Frontier. Oh, hey, Tau.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not much of a fan of the Tau army, but I am a fan of how the Tau look. There, some sci-fi scenery. That's some pretty generic stuff. District 1919.
Infinity.
Yeah, that's totally Affinity right there. Holy cow. Outer Rim. Ooh, that's also Infinity. That's also Star Wars too, because hey, there's a Dark Acolyte.
Yep.
And
Macedoon is Naboo.
And there's an escape pod and crash ship remains. Man, this is some good looking terrain. What do we got under other? Okay, just some more generic stuff. On the one hand, like, you have to have some infrastructure of your own to do this. Like, you don't have any ability to do any of this right now, Socks, because you don't have a 3D printer. I have a filament one, so I in theory could do some of this, but it's like, you have to have something to do stuff like this, and I know in your case, you'd probably rather pay, just a price and get what you need and not have to worry about the stuff. So,
yeah.
And I get that.
Absolutely.
And some of us, we do have the stuff to where we can do this and it's not a big deal. And God, this stuff looks so good. I'm back on the Siege of Castrograd, and that stuff just looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got ruined walls, you've got the full-on buildings, the Imperial heavy
scattered terrain.
Well, you got the heavy fortress walls, you got the silos, like, they're even showing like the city plateau with like various buildings on the city plateau. Like, this stuff just looks so good. Which one's your favorite genre of all these?
Good question. I'm just like the District 1919 one.
I'm kind of with the United Frontier. Now, I will say this. I didn't notice this the first time we looked at. They're legitimately saying Tau.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to fly if when Games Workshop catches wind of this. They're going to tell them to change that. Like, obviously this is Elven. It's not Eldar. It's Elven. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
The Eldar space elves. This is Elven. This is completely different. So they're probably going to have to do, like, instead of Tau Cadre Headquarters, it's going to have to be United Frontier Cadre Headquarters.
Yeah.
Which I clicked on that, and they show it painted up in 4 different paint schemes, and God, that's so good. Looking at the Tau barracks right now, like, okay, I see how they've got it broken up to various pieces. This is probably some of the best terrain. Now, like I said, it's all on what kind of printer you got, how you print it. But this all looks so good.
Yeah.
This is quite literally, if you're one of those people where it's like you have the table at home and you have friends over and you play at your house, like, this has got to be the best thing ever, because it's just, if you need to do like, or if you're one of those guys who does the pro paint terrain boards and stuff like that for your army,
yep,
like, this is like the perfect thing to get the exact right terrain, and the number of pieces you need for your display board.
Ooh, look on the. Did you look at the Tau power plasma generator?
Tau power.
Top right-hand corner, the very top row.
Oh, there we go. Clicking on it now.
Look at that. Look at that middle paint job with that clear plastic.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, they stuck
That
a
is
light in
awesome.
there. They had to have stuck a light in there.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's some people with good OSL, but that is like, that's perfect OSL. And just it's got to be a light. Here's a picture of it unpainted. Can I zoom? Oh yeah, it looks like they're using a filament printer on this Tau stuff. Which God, that looks good. I may have to bookmark this. There we go, bookmarked. Actually, I'm going to go back to the main page, and then I'm going to say bookmark. There we go, done. I have that bookmark. I may have to go back here and buy some files. Not lying.
I just grabbed one off the list today because Bruce was just like, choose one from off the list, and this is one I just grabbed off the list. So I think I did well today.
You did well, Socks. That's a good find. I'm happy about that one. I say let's move on to this noise.
Cream, glue, frying, paint.
I have done nothing.
But you've been busy with two little puppies, so that's understandable, and not feeling well yourself. So
yeah,
that's understandable.
I've been fighting a cold for a week. I did do this. I don't know if I can show it off too well. I can't. I printed a multi-board, kind of for my desk to like hold like my glasses and stuff like that. But it's all in getting tabled colors. Actually, I forgot I could do this. Let me do this. I totally forgot I can do this. I could change my camera to this.
Very nice. That does look nice.
Right? So
I like your dice sitting right there.
Right, my headphones. I've got this right here, which is my pencil bins, which will go sit right here on it. So it just all it does is it gives me vertical storage for stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll take because a lot of this stuff like would just sit over here in the corner and just take up a whole bunch of. Oh hey, how about I move that there? I left the little thing up showing what camera I had selected. Everyone knows the name of my cell phone now. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. It has taken a bit to print, but it's one of those things. I don't know if you've heard of multi-board.
Yeah, I have.
So it is free, and God, it's so cool. You could use it quite well, actually, for some hobby storage too, if you were so inclined. Because like I said, you can do the various types of holders and stuff like that for brushes. You do shelves to hold paints on, etc. So.
Nice.
I know you've got a bunch of stuff you're itching to show off, so go ahead and get to it.
Yeah, so I was planning on ordering some hills from Battlefield in a box. However, when I emailed them, because nothing had been shipped within a couple weeks, they're like, it's on back order, and we don't know when it's going to be ordered. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll cancel my order. So I went to where did I go? Lowe's or Home Depot, and bought some insulation foam. And then I went and got a hot wire foam cutter and cut it out. That's the bottom of it, and made my own little hills. So that's a small one. I've got a good sized one there. These are the same height. And then I've put two on top of each other to make a double sized hill. So good. 4-inch height or so.
And
three different sizes.
And this is not a knock at this at all, Socks, but now you have your standard green flock hill terrain that everyone has.
Yep, I know.
No, I'm not knocking it because you went through, you did that, you made it, but it's like, it looks so good. It's so easy to do. I mean, it's like, and you see it everywhere. Everyone has those hills somewhere. Like, And like I said, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying like they all look the same. So the fact that you decided to just go through and make it on your own, so much,
Yeah.
you know, instead of just buying it and waiting for it to show up. My hat's off to you there.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I mean, and I plan on probably doing a couple more. I'll do some with like cliffs and stuff like that. I mean, because I've got some hills from way back when that are kind of rocky hills, and so Michelle was saying, "Hey, put some little rocks on there." And I was just like, I was going back and forth on it because I play a lot of epic scale games. A lot of my units are 15 mil, 13 mil, even 10 mil.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to put too much scatter terrain on there because I didn't want it to look out of scale. And so
Yeah, no, that's the great thing about those hills like that. It's like that looks like a little like mound for 40K, or that's a substantial like hold that high ground for your Gettysburg
for
game.
or my Hannibal set or Armor Clash when it comes out. So yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of Hannibal, this is one of my little elephants that I was starting to put some paint on it. All I did on this was a black primer with some white zenithal, a little bit harder zenithal whiting, and then just a contrast gray on top of it. So that's my lighter of the one. And then this one was Ratman Grime with a gray shade on top of it, and that's all I did for those two.
Yeah, like I mentioned to you earlier, if you do the black primer and then do like a kind of a gray, I would really highly recommend just doing like a white dry brush just to grab like the top edges of the ears and the top of the head and stuff like that. Then when you put that contrast on there, they'll just add so much more depth and detail.
That's pop. Yeah,
For sure.
so I've got those two finished. Unfortunately, with my school right now, I was talking with George and I were talking about this earlier. I'm in the middle of writing some papers for my finals for my two courses that I'm in right now, and then I'll start my other two courses in November. So I'm kind of busy with that. But hopefully, with me having one of my two papers done, I'm hoping to get the next one done within the next week. And so hopefully, by the next recording, I'll have some more stuff painted up that I can actually show off instead of two little elephants. So,
Well, hey, that's more than I got to show off, so don't feel too bad.
I know.
Alrighty. And then I guess that's it for hobby time because
Bruce is gone.
Talk nerdy to me.
The importance of basing. This is very important.
Very important.
Very important, actually. I will spend probably about as much time as I will thinking of my basing as I do like the color scheme for my army. And the reason why is let's look at this way, right? So my Space Wolves, okay? They're fairly dark gray the way I did it. I've done red for the power weapons and the energy and stuff like that, so I've got that nice red gray contrast. The squad markings are red. I did the terrain basing, a snow white kind of color so that, the miniature stands out from it. Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm struggling here because my custodies, right? And I went through and they are shiny gold. Like, they are gold. And then I've got like this nice matte red for their cloaks. And I've been sitting here tearing myself up trying to think, like, what am I going to do for basing?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Right? Exactly. Well, because what's one of the best things to do? Because so, and also here, one part of it is pre-made versus custom, painted versus bare flock, and then buying resin bases versus making your own 3D bases with scraps. So, 99.99999% of the time when I do basing is I will take the mini and I will put it on the base, get it all painted up, and then I'll pop it off the mini and I'll prep the base because then I can repaint the base, whatever color, typically black. And I use that base as kind of like a show stand.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do, and I've got a couple of them here handy. I had a couple of them handy. There we are. So this is for a Redemptor Dreadnought for my Space Wolves army. It's a piece of cork.
Yeah.
And I painted the edge brown, and I don't know if you can see the...
Yep.
I put some blue on it to like the frost line, and then white. So the plastic base sits on this almost as like a display stand, and then this is the basing. Yeah. And then the model goes on top of that, obviously.
Yep.
And so... And that's how I like to work with my basing. And this is why I always bitch about the tactical rocks, or that's part of the terrain. You know, the terrain is part of the base, because that's how I do my stuff. That's how I like to do it. It gives me the extra point of, you know, the custom basing. Yes, I'm not modeling for advantage, because I'm adding, you know, almost a 1/4 inch of height doing my basing like that. But when I go and do a terrain board, I take the same cork, cut the holes out. I do all the basing on that, and then when I put them on the display board, the bases blend in completely with the terrain board, and it's all smooth and it looks good. A friend of mine, Don, he's won numerous painting awards at Adepticon. He's the one that turned me on to that. I've not looked back since from that. Now. So pre-made versus custom. Well, like I said, I'll use the one that comes with the model, but I'll do the cork. And it's not that much work. You put the plastic base down, you trace around the cork, you cut the cork out, you're done. Like, and if you want to make it a little rough around the edges, grab yourself some needle nose pliers and like pull chunks off, and that gives you a rough, like gravelly dirt type of texture. So now. That being said, like some of that pre-made stuff does look good, like some of those infinity bases and stuff like that. I can't knock those. Painted versus bare flock. Yes, you should do both.
Correct.
With what we have available for flocking technology, I'll even include some of those textured paints. As a flocking, because you're painting on a flock at that point. Like some of that asphalt stuff that makes it look like an asphalt road, that's more of a flock than so. Throw some paint down, throw some flock down, like multi-layer texturing, make it look good.
Yeah. Did I show you my pre-made stuff that I?
No.
I know I said it's a picture. So I made this myself. Hang on one second. So it's some basic flocking, but what I did was I had Army Painter Battlefield rocks, pretty much, some very, very fine stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had some of their static grass.
Oh, yeah. I remember you showing the picture of you mixing it all together, yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of see the static grass in there with the rocks and stuff.
Yep.
This is going to be for my Hannibal army, because I'm wanting it to be as if he's coming across the Alps before he really attacked the Roman army.
Sure, yeah. But it's one of
and
those.
Then
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't realize you were.
And then for my Romans, because they're based in Italy, I found this at one of the hobby stores here in town, Hobby Lobby to be exact. And it's just some like sand, gravel type stuff. So like beachy type sand. And then I'm going to do a very, very light spring type static grass that I'm going to order, and I'm going to mix that together. And then I'll put some bushes on there or whatever, some little plants, just to give it a little bit more texture and whatnot, some more details. So that's what I plan on doing with my Romans.
For sure.
So.
But painted versus bare flock, like, do both. Like,
yep.
The mini is supposed to look good. You're supposed to put the time, detail, and effort into that. But, you know, one of the simplest forms of basing I've done is just super glue all over, you know, the flat part of the base. Throw the
texture deep.
Well, make sure the
flocking pretty much.
Make sure the base is repainted, so there's like none of my overpaints on it, right? Super glue
absolutely.
that. Put some of the flock on there. Glue the mini back on, and then, you know, I'll put some like the little miniature plants on there and stuff like multi-level like texturing on the basing, like just doing like two different things as contrast on your basing does so much more. That's why I go with this method, right? Like
Yep.
I've got various colors on that, to like give it more texture, and then the flocky on top of that. Like I've got so many things going on here, and like I said, it looks even better when you put the plastic base under it, because then it's like the platform it's displayed on, then it's actual like the terrain it's on.
Yeah.
Now, buying resin bases versus making your own 3D bases with scraps. That's personal preference. I don't want to bother with making a base out of scraps. Like, I'm not that kind of guy. I know there are some people that are like that. So I'm never going to do that. And if I am going to do a resin base, like, yeah, sure, I'd buy it. But I mean, I wouldn't even do that. And I don't know. It's basing is one of those. It's a very specific to the individual thing too. Also, the game. What kind of basing do you do on your Dropfleet Commander socks?
I've done just some basic little black stonework.
Socks. Your Dropfleet Commander. What do you do for basing?
Oh, Drop Fleet. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Drop Zone.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
Drop Fleet. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly. You don't base those. So it's and there's some people where it's like they just like that simple, clean look of here's my painted model, here's my plastic base that it sits on, and I'm done.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you.
Nope.
If that's what you like the look of, and that's what you want to do, that's fine. Go for it. There's lots of guys. I can't pronounce his name. I've started watching some of his videos because he's just simply amazing. He'll do some of the scraps. He'll do a pre-made base with scraps. Like he'll do like 4 different things on a base, and then he'll do like 6 different techniques on the base, on top of the 12 different techniques he's done on the mini. Like these are showcase minis he's doing, not an army. But it's. I think the most important thing is what do you want your army to look like?
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
Is the most important thing. Do you want to look like it does on the box art? Then try to replicate that. If you want your stuff to look like it's on the jungles of something other, than like go find some fake plants and different.
Go find some aquarium plants.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Because those work great.
Yeah, I mean I would say like terrain and basing is like you can do more than you can even do with the mini itself, because the mini you have a framework that you're painting on and around. The basing, it's what you want to do, literally.
Wide open canvas.
I've even seen some people where they do just clear plastic acrylic discs, so that it goes with the terrain they're playing.
Whatever board you're
on the game board.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and that's a choice too. I can't fault that either. That would drive me crazy though, because then
yes,
you can't magnetize it. You can see all the stuff on the bottom. Like do you know how much hides on the bottom of a mini base?
A lot.
Especially the ones with wings that like are top heavy and fall over. That's got the 5 things of lead fishing shot glued on the bottom with 2 magnets, so it stays upright. Yeah.
Just so it's consistent. Yeah. Well, another thing with acrylic bases too is you got to be careful about them getting scratched on the underside, because
like I said, pre-made or custom, that's what you want to do. Painting versus bare flock, I don't think that it should be painting versus. I think it should be painting and then flock.
And then, yep, I agree.
I think that's a synonymous, statement there of, it's not one or the other. It's just do both. Like it's not going to take that much time to, spurts on some glue and dump the flock on it, let it dry, and you're done. Like it's not that much of an extra step. And like I said, the bottom one, it doesn't apply to me. I don't have much of an opinion.
Nor do I.
Now, I will say this though, when I do look at stuff that has been, centerpiece painted for like a painting competition, I love the bases that are handmade, custom made, that have more elements to it, just like any other mini. And so I think that's probably a good takeaway. Like, yeah, don't do a 6 element, basing for every single mini in your army. Do 2 or
Yeah.
3, but do more than one. So
Yep, agree.
so here's my question for you, Socks. Do you prefer PVA or do you prefer super glue
For basing,
for basing?
uh, I go back and forth. I've used PVA before, but I know some people use super glue, so I don't really have a preference, really.
So if I am doing any sort of flocking, and not static grass, any sort of so anything from the army painter line, I go through CA glue like it's water. Um, this is super glue. Like, I'm rubbing my finger on this and nothing is falling off. Because what happens
Yeah.
with PVA glue, it'll break down eventually and start to fall off. So,
Yeah,
but again, there's certain you can't use super glue with static grass.
Yep.
It's so. Um, I would really love to have Bruce's input on here because he's, especially with his entropy city stuff and like a very specific look there. But just to go back to what am I going to do for Custodes, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to do my typical thing, right? I'm going to paint the base black, and I've been doing, I've been wanting to try this, and I haven't done it yet. But not just paint it black, but use like a black 3.0, like one of those very super black blacks
Yeah.
for the plastic base. Just make it as black as possible. And then, do the cork thing. So the Custodes being shiny and gold, I think like, oh, well, here's the contrast. They're on lush, green, something or other. But that's not where Custodes fight. They guard the Emperor. So where's the Emperor? In a brick stonework building. Well, that's very boring, especially
Yeah.
all those grays and blacks and maybe some browns,
Browns.
with all that gold and red. Like, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those calls where it's like, what am I going to do for that versus what's going to look good for that? So,
Yep. I
wow.
think they look good.
And we've really flown through stuff tonight.
We flew through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Bruce wasn't here tonight to just chatter about stuff.
Well, I mean, it's one less opinion to look at and whatnot. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
I,
What's your favorite basing you've ever done then? How about that?
well, since I haven't really completed a lot of armies, it's hard to say.
What? You've never
Just-
completed an army?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
I'm hoping to get my Hannibal set done within the next year. It's going to be tough with me being in school, but I'm hoping to get it done within the next year. I'm really excited about that one. I would like to try and get it done before Armored Clash comes out because I'm looking forward to Armored Clash. And so
Yeah.
that's most likely not going to happen because if Imperium is coming out spring of next year, that's only 6 months that I really kind of have. So I'm going to do my best, but trying to work on a master's degree program that's very consolidated and intense is going to be time consuming too. So
That's all on you. You could have gone to.
I know it is.
You could do something like IT, like I'm doing, and all you need is a high school diploma.
This is my second master's degree.
Is that some brown stuff for your nose?
Yeah, it is.
Um.
But I need it. I need it for lieutenant colonel, and that's in a year and a half.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So.
I would say probably one of my favorite, and this is before I knew a lot about, was probably my first dwarves for Warhammer Fantasy. Because I painted the bases brown, and then I mixed a green and like a yellow green flock together, and
Nice.
just painted with PVA on there, and just stuck it down there, and it just looked like this. It was a brown base with like just mountain field grass, and I put like little blotches with like some little and put like little rock flock on there, and
Yeah.
for
Well, hang on. I take it back. When I had my Legion stuff still, I started basing all my Separatist army as if they were on the Battle of Geonosis. And so it was that red rock kind of texture and stuff like that. And so I enjoyed doing that. I used some Martian crust paint, textured paint, on top of some other rocks that I put down on first, and then I just put that texture on top of it, and I really like that. So I will give it that.
yeah. Here's another thing I just occurred to me too. Using flock or using real rock.
Yeah,
What again? My friend Don, who's won several painting awards. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Iron Warriors, and he had a lot of the Volkite guns, and so there's a lot of the black with like greens and stuff like that. So he did a red rock, basing as the contrast
yeah.
to that. And it's a very deep red. It was like a very lime green, and so it worked out great. And he actually went to one of those places where you buy rock in bulk,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
just smash it to bits.
and he's just like, I need some of this red rock, and they're like, okay, well, what do you need? He's like, well, I need like a cup of the powder. And they're like, you said a cup of the powder? He's like, yeah, I just need the powder. I don't need any. Well, maybe I'll take some of the little rocks,
The small stuff. Yeah.
but maybe a little bit of this. And they're like, oh, just go grab it, because they're the kind of business that, like, they're selling the stuff by like the ton for people to do
Yeah.
landscaping with, and he's just like, no, I need some of the dust.
I just need the dust.
And they're like,
After you pulverize it and there's some stuff all sitting off to the side, that's all I need.
they're like, you're weird. Go take that dust. Like, we can't sell that. It won't. We can't scoop it up. So,
Yeah.
but to a certain extent, if possible, if you can, I do like the real effects stuff has, because nothing looks more real than real.
Yeah.
The problem is, and this goes back to a conversation we had with Mel that one night of, scale.
Mm-hmm.
Sand looks like sand, but at 28 mils, sand is not the same scale as your mini.
At 15 mil, this is going to look great for like little stones.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if you went out and just picked up regular sand,
Absolutely. That's true.
That's going to look like a gravel instead of a sand, because the scale is
The
off.
scale.
Yes, it's great looking. It is a good looking sand, but it gets to the point of where it's too big. So,
Yeah.
that's why my buddy was looking for the dust, because the dust,
Yep.
looked more appropriate than trying to. I think he even wound up buying like a spice grinder to see if he could grind up some of the rocks too, and that failed horribly, by the way. Apparently rocks are harder than spice. Alrighty, well, let's move on to some of this.
Tournaments, demos, conventions, that kind of stuff.
Got quite a few things going on in the next few weeks. The 15th, so tomorrow at 10 a.m., we have Blaze in the northern suburbs, Axis and Ales. Oh, Axis and Ales, right. Thornbury Bowls Club, $30 entry, 3 rounds at 1,200 points. I'm guessing that's a drop zone or drop fleet game.
Not sure.
Yeah, that's Melbourne Figure Painting Collection, the 29th of this month, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Gaming Arena. That is in Melbourne. Then we have Firestorm Games Drop Fleet Commander Version 2 Tournament. That has been delayed. We do not have a date of when it's going to go on again. that was scheduled for the 11th, but that has been delayed. So if you missed a chance to get to it, that's okay because it hasn't happened yet. PAX Australia is coming up in October from the 11th through the 13th. That's again in Australia. Then we have Spiel
and Spicatel,
Specatel.
I'm guessing.
The 11th of September through the 9th of November to the 10th of November. In the Netherlands, €17.95 for pre-order tickets. And then we have the Conquest Dutch World Tour. That is the same day. I wonder if that's the same event. No, it's not the same event. But same
Different
day, 2,000 point tournament. Not sure what. My guess.
Conquest.
Is the Conquest? Oh, you're right. Conquest. It says right there. That's a $35 entry. And then we have a upcoming Drop Squad Commander painting competition. No date set on that yet. To compete in that, to compete in the Drop Squad painting competition, you'll have to buy the Strike Team Commander minis from TT Combat to compete in the Drop Squad painting competition because it's Drop Squad.
Yes.
Big shout out. Thanks to Valhalla Hobby for sponsoring this episode of Getting Tabled. Use code TABLED at checkout to get 5% off. Order your 5% off your first order over $100. Good Lord, can we make that more?
Speaking's hard for George.
We're talking hard for me. Like I said, I was up at 1:30 this morning helping puppies eat. It is a great store. Their shipping prices are reasonable. The prices are fantastic.
Yes.
I'm going to pull this up because it's been sitting in my cart because y'all got me that starter set for Bushido, and I've had the Inara's Judgment themed warband, the Fox Army.
Ooh, nice.
I've had it sitting in my cart. MSRP is $78. Valhalla Hobby's price is $67.99.
Sounds like you need to order it.
It's been sitting in my cart for months, and I just haven't been able to,
Just click the button then.
Stop telling me things like that sucks. But yeah, great price on that stuff. Dystopian Wars, Wild West.
Armor Clash.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Wild
Armor
West.
Clash. Yeah. They've got a varied selection of all the games. They've got the normal basic stuff too, like your Warhammer and whatnot. I mean, but they've got a lot of the stuff that isn't as common and is available. And like I said, their prices are more reasonable. I got the complete contrast set from Army Painter through them just simply for the fact that I couldn't find a price anywhere else on the internet that came close to what they had. So check them out, use the code, support them, they support us, and it goes around and around and around.
Indeed.
Thank you also to our Patreons. $2 a month gets you early video access to the podcast and all the video content we do put up. That's anything from unboxings to the podcast itself. We're all doing stuff. Well, I haven't been doing stuff of late, but hey, Bruce and Socks have been pulling the weight there at least. I do have the Sergeant Manslaughter. I think that's what his name is. That I gotta do, and that mini does look great. That's patreon.com/gettingtabled. The website is gettingtabled.com. We did talk up some changes that were going to happen, but ran into a slight snafu, so we're holding off on that to see if we're going to change a different hosting platform that works better for what we are hoping to have done. You can find most of our posts at facebook.com/gettingtable. That's where we're most active. That's where we post all and anything too, first and foremost. Please give us a like and subscribe at youtube.com/gettingtabled. We're getting there. We're over 800 subs now.
We're getting there.
We are getting
there.
YouTube Studio. We are at time of recording, 808 subscribers. So I would love to see 1,000 at some point. We're getting there very slowly and surely. And
Yes.
thank you all those who have liked and subscribed. If you got anything for us, questions, something you want us to talk about, something you want us to know about, you can email us at gettingtabled@gmail.com. Twitter, Instagram, Threads at gettingtabled, or X. It's X now. It's been long enough. You almost have to stop saying Twitter. There is a Twitch for Bruce. That's twitch.tv/Jason the Bruce. He's very casual there. But if you do just give him a subscribe there, you get notified when he does do something. You can check it out. And then also for the Bruce, one of his other projects he have is youtube.com/toyreel. He talks about toys there. Go check that out. I think that's it.
I think that is. Till next time.
Till next time. Let me do this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For listening to Getting Tabled. Music used in this podcast was created by Eric Matyas at soundimage.org.
Shame the Bruce for not being here.
Shame.
Shame.